So I think we are all set. We will just start whenever Mahendra sir and PK sir and Isaac sir permits us.
Sir, all yours, sir. Professor Ishaq sir bole and Mahendra Singh sir, green signal, we all are there with you.
Yes, please go ahead.
Yes, thank you, everyone. Thank you. We'll just go ahead. Okay, so people are joining there already. Okay, so I think we should start. We should not wait. People will be joining in between, and we have shared all the links and also. Okay, good morning, everyone. So I welcome you all to the panel discussion on Professor of Practice appointment. So let me tell you one incident. Not only one, multiple incident happened in last few days. People were calling me and they were asking me, so which college you are appointing the pharmacy practice professors? Please tell us. We are very keen to join. You know? So that's why we need the proper awareness and proper things, and what exactly this professor of practice is and why it is. So people were asking which college is hiring professor of practice. You please tell us, we want to join. And also that we thought that we all should come together and make everyone aware that what is exactly the professor of practice appointment is, which has been launched recently by UGC, or University Grant Commission, as per the new education policies 2020. So today we are going to discuss on a lot of things like why professor of practice, and what is the objective behind launching this POP scheme, what is the tenure, duration, eligibilities, essential qualifications, whatever would be the remunerations for POPs, what are the general conditions to appoint the POPs and all. So to discuss that, definitely we have with us Professor GRM Isaac sir. We have Professor Mahendra Singh Rathore sir, who is our professor and principal at GIP Geetanjali University Udaipur, and our NAC coach and national president, serving national president for ARCNET India. And we have proudly, I can mention that we have Professor of Practice Pramod Kumar Rajput sir with us. Gladly, because sir has received the appointment letter. Sir has received the appointment letters of Professor of Practice from 2 colleges till now, 2 or 3. I mean, there are some limitations. We'll come to that definitely. But sir is officially now Professor Pramod Kumar Rajput. So I welcome you, sir. And we all know that sir is former vice president, senior vice president from Cadila Pharmaceuticals. He's educator, he's life coach, he's thought leader, he's author. And about Professor Isaac sir, if I tell, he's currently serving as professor at Department of Pharmaceutical Sciences, and he's also serving as director at Center of Career Planning and Counseling, University of Kashmir. So with that, I'd come to that later. I would hand over the mic to Professor Rathore sir to come up and inaugurate this session and put the vote of inauguration. So over to you, Professor Brathor.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ajit. So actually, the innovation should be done by the senior people like Professor Ishaq sir, but anyhow, you have told me to welcome them. So on behalf of ARCNET India and Climed Research Solution, I welcome Professor Giram Ishaq sir and Dr. P.K. Rajput sir. And मैं अभी इस रिसेंटली जो यूजीसी का वेलकम स्टेप है, इस स्टेप के अंदर प्रोफेसर ऑफ प्रैक्टिस अपॉइंट करने का, सो जस्ट मैं एक 2-3 मिनट लूंगा जस्ट टू share my understanding about that. Suppose that in India we are having an engine, and for engine running that engine we need some fuel, and the efficiency of the engine will depend on the quality of fuel. So now imagine that the oil that is coming to the industry or to the engine, then you think the oil is of not the purified quality. So what the engine or the people at the engine manufacturing or who are running that engine, they will do one thing, that they will make the purification process, and then they will put this fuel into the engine. So I think that you might have understood this thing, that what I am talking about in the this knowledge-based industry, that pharmaceutical industries or the other industries are working as engine, and the academic institutions are working as a fuel. So that there are two ways, that either the industries put their engineers to refine that fuel, or the another way can be done, that the industry or the somebody appoint some engineer to the source of fuel. So that this is my understanding, that refining the fuel at the source is the appointment of the professor of practice, because these people are very much experienced, like Pramod Kumar Rajput sir. And I would say rather he is not a scientist, he is an engineer of the human minds, engineer of the human brains. Because the outcome which is coming out from the academic institutions, majority of the research have established that these are not ready to employable. So that first industry has to give them training, that is the refinement process. So I take this process of appointing the professor of practice as the process of refining the fuel at the academic institutions. So ये मेरी एक understanding है छोटी सी, और this is a high time to make the academia and industry in collaboration, so that the outcome or the manpower which is coming out from the academic institution should be industry ready. Yes. And we are academicians, and we do agree with that. Due to one or another reason, this is not happening right now. And this is the high time, and this is the need of the hour. And that's why I think that the philosophy behind appointing this professor of practice to the higher education institution is one step ahead towards this direction. So these people who are having experience, they will share, they will train the young minds, so that they will tell them the orientation with which they have to move to the industry, and they can contribute better. So this is the professor of practice concept that I understood. And the later details would be shared by Dr. Ishaq sir and the other eminent people. So thank you very much, Dr. Ajit, for inviting me to welcome the people like Dr. P.K. Rajput sir, Giram Ishaq sir. Welcome, sir. Welcome. Over to you, Dr. Ajit.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. So, okay, let me start with the introduction of a little introduction of Climed and ARCNET India, and then I'll share about the POP, and then we'll go to our eminent Rajput sir and Ishaq sir. So please confirm if my slides are visible.
Visible.
Okay, great. Thank you. So right now, we have started Climed in 2019 and educational services in 2020. Climed is actually a CRO based in Hyderabad and Gurgaon. And right now, this event and everything is, being done under the educational services. So as we can see here, I'll not take more than a minute. As we can see here, right now, there are two major wings. One is educational services, one is research services. So in research services, we have CRO services, we have research consultations, and we have medical writing services and all. And in Climed Educational Services, we have expanded a lot. In last 3 years, we have collaborations, the MOUs with around 150 pharmacy and medical colleges and universities for value-added courses, for skill development courses. We have trained around 25,000 plus students from 20 plus countries, 24 countries. And right now we have 100 plus courses, 70 plus short-term and long-term courses. And we are conducting 20 plus FDPs, PDPs, and corporate trainings in different domains. We have covered almost 20 plus domains of healthcare science, including genetics, cancer, pharmacy, and multiple things. And we have 200 expert faculties with us. And under this only, we have initiated ARCNET India. So ARCNET India is nothing but our accreditation, ranking, and certification network. And this is the initiative, as I told. Climed is our mother organization for this. So we have started this to attain the academic excellence through the networking of professionals working in the area of accreditations, ranking, and certifications, with the vision to attain the academic excellence in higher education institutions through knowledge sharing and networking, and with the mission to help the professionals of different domains who aspires to get good grades in NAC accreditation through online and offline trainings and ARCNET India's NAC process awareness initiatives. So under ARCNET India, we have conducting a lot of short-term, long-term programs, FDPs, workshops, free online webinars and all. We usually conduct every week, every 2 weeks. And people are participating in that from various colleges. We are conducting for the colleges as well as per the invitations, and we are spreading the awareness throughout India. So that's all brief about Climed and ARCNET. Now I'll come to the topic of today, the panel discussion for Professor of Practice appointment. So before we go to the panel discussion to our eminent Pramod sir and Ishaq sir, I would like to give a brief of Professor of Practice appointment, what exactly the Professor of Practice is. So this is the banner that was launched last week by UGC chairman. So they have opened the Professor of Practice portal where anyone can register and show the interest. HEIs like higher education institutions and the experts and the industries. I mean, experts from the industries, they can register direct to this portal, or there are other methods to get appointed, right? So we'll come to that. So today we'll be looking about the questions. What is the Professor of Practice? Why Professor of Practice scheme being launched by UGC? What is the eligibility and essential qualifications? What's the tenure and duration of Professor of Practice? What should be the remuneration of Professor of Practice? And what are the general conditions to appoint a Professor of Practice? So I'll start with what and why Professor of Practice. So as we all know that our NEP's National Education Practices, National Education Policy 2020 have been launched, and they are focusing on the skill development and skill-based courses and skill-based education. So the National Education Policy 2020 seeks to transform the higher education by focusing on skill-based education to meet the need of industry and the economy. They have covered both the things here, the industry and the economy. So to get the skillful youth at optimum level, we need people from the industry. We need experts who are experts in the different domains, whether they are in manufacturing, in marketing, in banking, in finance, in management, in time management, anything. Okay, we need we can get any type of expert to teach and to update, to boost our students, right? So their main motto was like, for the skilling of youth at the optimum level, learners are required to think like employers, like our students and the academicians. They should think like employers, and employers should think like learners, to bridge that gap. Okay, to bridge gap that between industry and academia, to make a bridge. I'll say in other words, to make a bridge between industry and academia, they have opened this scheme of Professor of Practice. So towards this, the UGC has taken a new initiative to bring the industry and other professional expertise into the academic institutions through a new category of appointments that is called as Professor of Practice. Okay, so this will help definitely to take the real world practices. When we are taking the people from the industry who are experts of their domain, they will get the experience into the classrooms, and definitely they'll augment the faculty resources in the higher education institutions, HEIs. right? In turn, definitely the industry and society will be benefited because they will be directly getting the trained graduates to equip directly, in their machinery with the relevant skills, right? And what exactly the UGC has thought, what are the objectives we say behind introducing this professor of practice scheme? So first of all, to develop the courses and curriculum to meet the industry and social needs. That's important, because till now, as UGC has also come up with the scheme of autonomy, right? Any institution with certain criterias can go for autonomy. So in that autonomy, they have the freedom, they have the liberty to change the curriculum at certain extent, like 20 or 30%, right? At that certain extent, they can change the curriculum, they can mix up the curriculum based on the industrial needs, or based on the social needs, or based on their students need, right? Or based on their specializations, right? So to develop the curriculum with the industry and social needs, definitely these professor of practice will help, and these will enable the HIs to work with industry experts on the joint research projects and consultancy services, which will be mutually benefited, definitely. And second, to bring the distinguished expert from the various field. See, usually when we go to the industry, or when we are as an institution want to collaborate with the industry, it is very tough. Or when we want to uh, invite them for guest lectures, or to train our students, or for some time, like every month or something. So there are a lot of things I have seen. I usually face those things like conflict of interest, and they cannot share the material beyond some extent and all. So there are a lot of things. So to cover that, to bridge that thing, this professor of practice scheme will help institutions and industry both. So to bring in distinguished experts from various fields, such as engineering, science, technology, entrepreneurship, management, CAs, commerce, social science, media, literacy, fine arts, civil services, anything. Okay, so it's not necessary that being a pharmacy college or being an engineering college, you cannot call the finance people to teach your students. You can keep one professor of practice from the finance, from the time management, from the management, right? To manage, to teach like how to manage the time, or how to manage the finances, or how to manage the business, or how to start the business and all. So we are completely free now under this professor of practice scheme to get any expert with the eligibilities, definitely, that we are coming to. With that expertise, we can get any professor of practice appointment, and get those skills to our institution, right? And the third objective behind this is to enable the higher education institutions to formally associate with person of eminence. Because in the eligibilities, we clearly see that the person should have at least 15 years of experience. I'll come to that. And we will encourage them, the people of eminence will encourage them to participate in experiential learning. That is very mandatory now. As we, when we talk about UGC, when we talk about NEP 2020, when we talk about skill based education, experiential learning is important. Experiential learning will take our students to the industry, that will make them industry ready. So we need people to come to the institute, these eminent people, and will allow them to participate in the experiential learning, research, trainings, and skills, entrepreneurship, and will provide them the mentoring role directly, and will allow them to teach our students and get them industry ready. So what are the eligibilities and essential qualifications for POP? So as I told, that must be distinguished expert who have made remarkable contributions in the profession. And then if we come to the experience, those who have proven expertise in their specific profession or role with at least 15 years of experience. So that is minimum experience they need. If you are appointing a professor of practice, so keep in mind that they must have at least 15 years of experience in their service. Okay, and preferably a senior level, that will be eligible for the professor of practice. So definitely here there is no eligibilities, or there is no eligibility criteria which is including the qualification right now in this. So UGC has kept that qualification thing out of the eligibility. Okay, so they have clearly written a formal academic qualification is not considered essential for the position if the person is exemplary professional practice, I mean has that professional experience. So there is no need of a specific academic qualification if the professor of practice you are appointing has, is like very distinguished, is full of knowledge of their, subject. So there is no need to look at the academic qualifications. Definitely, right now, that is the statement what UGC has given. And then these experts will also be exempted from the requirement of publications. Okay, they don't, have to publish the papers, or they don't have to go for the other stipulated criterias to fulfill the academic requirement, right? Because they are not appointed for the years, they are appointed for some amount of time that we are going to discuss, like 1 year to 3 years, right? So they will be exempted from the requirement of publications and all, right? Because they are here expectedly to teach the students the skills they are bringing from the industry, right? And the specific criteria for the colleges, the number of professor of practices in any higher education institution at any point in time should not exceed 10% of the sanction posts. Sanction post means if there are, there are 30 sanctions posts for, permanent professors or assistant professors or permanent faculty members, the 10% only three externals can be appointed as POP. Okay, so this is the essential qualifications. I mean, there is no exactly essential qualification, but the eligibility criteria to get appointed as POP, or to appoint the POP in any HEIs, right? General conditions. First general condition, like I will start from the third. The first general condition is professor of practice is not open for those who is in the teaching profession. Whether they are serving or retired, they cannot be appointed as POP in any institution. And institutions also should take care of that people from teaching profession cannot be POPs, because POPs are specifically for the skillful people from the industry or from any different, any domain. Okay, they should not be from the teaching profession. The engagement of professor of practice will be a fixed term, and the engagement of professor of practice will be exclusive for the sanctioned posts. Okay, for the university of college, as I told, 10%. Okay, 10% of the sanctions post only. But this will not be covered under sanctions post, as it is written here. You can see the exclusive, it will be exclusive of the sanctioned posts. So this will not be covered in that, but this should not exceed the 10% of sanctioned posts, right? It will not affect, they have clearly mentioned, it will not affect the number of sanctioned posts or the recruitment of regular faculty members. So these are completely, away from the sanctioned post, criteria and all, right? Now, if I come to the categories of engagement and their remuneration. So there are three types of POPs the institutions can appoint. First is professor of practice funded by industry. Okay, so funded by industry is, what is the logic behind funded by industry and why industry should fund? See, when the industry is hiring someone, suppose industry is hiring some fresher, some fresh students, some freshers for, any task at any positions. So they usually, appoint the trainers, they usually appoint the managers, or they send the freshers, the fresher employees for specific trainings for 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, either online, offline. Right now there are online things as well, but they spend some time, right? They spend some time and a good amount of money they have to spend to train them, to get them mingled with the their industry environment and industry work things, like how to work and how to do that, how to come to the flow of the industry. So they spend a lot of time and they appoint multiple people to train them. So in that case, what industries can do is they can send their experts as per the POP eligibilities. They can send them directly to the institution, and they can give some time, like 10 hours to 100 hours per month, that Professor Rajput will explore much on that. So they can send them to the institute, and those trainers will train the students as per their own requirements, with the skills, with the things. They can train the students from the institution only. And those professors can be appointed as POP. I mean, those people, those experts can be appointed as POP, and those will be funded by the industry. So that is the professor of practice funded by industries. Now, professor of practice funded by the HEI from their own resources. Like if some institutions, they don't have specific people to teach some specific skills which are required in the college, like manufacturing, or some new colleges, they don't have everything in house, so they can also appoint the POPs from any industry with the eligibilities, and they can give them some remunerations. Remunerations are not at all told by the UGC. It is clearly written that remunerations would be on the mutual understanding, whether they want to take or they want to give or not. Okay, and how much they want to give, that is 100% on the negotiation between the between both the parties, between POP and the HEI, right? And then professor of practice on the honorary basis. So whenever you are calling them, give them some remunerations. That also can be done, but the eligibility criteria of timings that sir is going to tell, that must be met by HEIs, by POPs, everyone, right? So these are the three categories of engagement of POPs. And now the selection procedure is very simple. Either vice chancellor or director of the college can invite the nominations, or the experts can nominate by their friends or someone, or they can nominate themselves by sending the letter and by sending their detailed biodata and brief write-up to the vice chancellor or director. That is the two thing. And third thing, I mean, after these two things, there will be a committee. There will be a selection committee of 2 senior professors from HEI and 1 eminent external member. So they have to consider a committee. They have to organize a committee to, for this selection process. And based on the recommendations of the committee, the academic counseling or the executive counseling of HEI will decide on the engagement. So the tenure and duration. Tenure must be up to 1 year, and it can be extended up to 3 years. It can be extended up to 3 years in case of in exceptional cases 1 more year. So maximum tenure or duration of a POP could be 4 years, but in specific circumstances, otherwise 1 to 3 years. Okay, otherwise it should be 1 to 3 years. So that's all from my side. I'll just take you through the website for 2 minutes, and then I'll hand over the mic to our experts, right? Okay, so let me do that more. Yeah, so I hope it is visible. I'll just pop.ugc.ac.in. So this is the website, and see, they have made a specific website, a specific page for professor of practices. So they have all the details here about professor of practices. You can read here, you can read the guidelines. And if you look at this, guys, specifically everyone, till now it has opened almost for 15 days, I think 13 or 14 days. Till now there are 2,694 experts already registered, and they have 65 HEIs, higher education institutions, have already registered here. Okay, so you should not be, if you are thinking of, please think of and immediately go to the portal and register. And you can see there are multiple things to get the POPs. You can get it from the UGC also, UGC website also. They will appoint for you, or you can invite, or they can, like if you know someone, they can, nominate by, they can nominate themselves. So, and if any query, you can go to the email and ask. Otherwise, you can easily go to these registrations. So there are 2 types of registrations. Sir will tell more about it. So one is expert registration, one is HEI registration. So experts can directly register to this site, or higher education institutions also can register to this website, right? There are logins for experts, HEIs, and admin, and there are about the things and guidelines also you can explore here. So that's all from my side. If any questions, I'll take up the questions for 2 minutes, and then, or we can take up the questions later only. So with that, we have with us Professor Giram Ishaq and Professor PK Rajput. So these both are from their different domains. One is from industry and one is from academia. So Professor Giram Ishaq sir will be, putting the views from the academia side, why POP is important for the academics, and PK Rajput sir will be will be putting his views on why POP is important for the experts and industry. So with that, I'll go to Professor P.K. Rajput sir to share his experiences, because he got the letter of POP recently and he has registered to the website as well, and he has the extensive I'll say the experience on this right now. So over to you, PK Rajput sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Dr. Ajit Singh, sir. Thank you, ARCNET and Climed for inviting me. And very, very good morning to all the eminent personalities who have joined here. Assalamu alaikum to Professor Gir Saab, who has joined from Srinagar, and all my brothers and sisters, Muslim brothers and sisters. So when I talk about this very, very important thing, see, the thing is, earlier, I was just listening very carefully. Earlier, this institution, they used to invite us as an advisory board member, right? They also used to invite us as a board of studies member, right? And I was a part of almost 25 universities and institutions as an advisory board or board of studies, where we used to talk about the elementary modules which has to be added and the change of the entire things, right? Suppose I am basically, let me tell about it. I am basically having the 40 years of experience. I was the in charge for Cadila Pharmaceutical, one of the leading pharmaceutical company, as a senior vice president, sales and marketing for entire India and 25 countries of the world. So I was managing the company, show multiple verticals. So they are there with me, multiple divisions. And that was my entire domain, because started the things and managing. From last 23 years, I was on the senior level, from the general manager level to that particular level. And from last 3 years of the time when the COVID has started, industry, they started talking to us about this important thing, and gradually we have become the part of it. Since this POP part has come, and I had a discussion with Dr. Ajit Singh sir also, right, that what are the things are there, then I have myself registered it here, right, and I've registered myself and in the HEI column, and the institution who have taken me in the advisory board, they want that I should be a part of that POP part. So it is like earlier I was giving my online session, talking to them and all, but it is becoming now the mandate that at least 10 hours in a month has to be spent, or it has to be invested with the colleges or the institution, where we have to have face-to-face talk. And it is going to help in the many, many ways. When I say it is going to help in many ways, means it is going to, first of all, going to help in the departmental meetings, faculty development programs, because these are the gurus are there. The gurus are making the things happen. But at the same time, what is the real requirement in the industry is there, because now not many technology has come. I'm talking about the marketing part. I'm talking about the other thing which are there in the HR part also. So the blend of so many things has been added. The skills requirement are there, which is going to help us. And at the same time, engaging in the research, consulting, industry collaboration to promote the institute reputation, which is very important. Today, when we go to the institute, the HR people, they are not able to collaborate with the industry because they don't have direct contact with that, and they want that internship has to be there. See, today sir was talking about that experiential learning, right? Same thing we talk about the vocational training. Same thing, both the things are the same. So how they will get the vocational training or experiential learning, where some industry person will be there, who will be able to bridge up the gap between them. Today, the institutions, they are doing such a lovely job, right? But the HR part from the institution, they are not having the connect with the industry. And that's what I have seen. So whenever I've spoken to these 25 industries, they said, please help us out so that we can send 3 students, 5 students, 10 students in couple of the industry where they can get the internship. And the internship will also be a robust internship. It is not only for the sake of having an internship. So when we go there and we become a member of that, we want that what they did in the internship, it's a 1 month internship or 3 months internship. And what is the output of that internship? Because we want to build the youngster, which is very important. It is not on the papers. Why it has come to my mind also, I like to say, because when we recruit the people from IIMM, as well as the multiple different college, Nursing Momji College and all, they have a very good marks. But when we talk about the creativity part, when we talk about the intelligence part, the skill building part, then there is lacking is there. And you all will agree with me that in any good company, right, they will not wait for the people. They want the people should be coming and they should be contributing in that particular level. Because today the scenario is everybody wants to rush and the bargain, the seniors, they are not able to handhold this new generation, frankly speaking. And the new generation doesn't know what is happening. And then in 6 months or 1 year of the time, they are getting frustrated and they keep on changing the job. The attrition happens. It is not like in our scenario, we used to stuck with one company and we used to grow, or 2 companies, 3 companies, something like that. So when we talk about the skill building, when we talk that you have to go deep down inside in that, and it is going to help you. What are the different nitty-gritties are there? It is going to help in that way. So that's what I feel, that this POP part is really a boon, and it is going to help in conducting the lectures, seminars, workshops in the areas of expertise, utilizing the industry knowledge and practical experience, which is very, very important today, because there are certain things are there which is not there in the book, which has so many things are there outside the book. Because when we go in the field, when we work in some of the, we found that how to tackle why the emotional intelligence is very important, why the social intelligence is very important, why the creative quotient is very, very important, and how the youngsters has to behave. See, we are not in the US, we are not in UK. When you call your boss by the name, then I cannot call a doctor saying, hi Ajit, how are you? Like that. It has to be with the due respect, right? And it is maintained in India. So you have to maintain that hierarchy. You have to maintain that emotional part, which is very important. These are the small things, leadership skill, communication skill, what to communicate, what not to communicate. See, what to communicate, everybody knows about it. But what not to communicate is very important, because a small slightly change of the communication will destroy the entire thing. And when you become from a blue-eyed boy to a red-eyed boy, right? It is like that. So these are the things are there which I personally feel it is going to help the industry. And that's what I got the letter from 3 industries. Maximum, I will be going maximum to maximum for 5 industries, not more than that, because we have to devote time. And since I'm a multiple platform, right, I have to justify the advisory board or the board studies for the other institutions also. So I request here, as per my experience, what I am doing it, right, and being advisory board member now, and to the new shift which is there, that maximum 3 to 5 industries can be chosen, where you can give your valuable time of 10 hours in a month, right? And remunerations I have not discussed, because that is my secondary part, frankly speaking. That is between the person and the institute. That is a different part. But yes, in turn, we also able to build our new knowledge part, which is very, very important, because technology blend and adding the thing. Because today, when you talk to somebody like that, they will only put it on the different type of chat GPTs or OpenAI and all, and they will have the answer. But that answer is not going to give you the right result. Of course, the answer is 80%, 90% right, because AI is working on that. And at the same time, sir, to all, when in the pharma industry or when in some of the industry, when we talk about the uses of artificial intelligence, augmented reality, virtual reality, where it has to be taken care, what are the needs are there, it will be a real practical way of putting it and utilizing it in a different way. So the student will be thinking out of the box, which is very important. Because when we want a people coming to suppose we have to launch a product, we have to build a particular vertical. What are the new ways? We should not be becoming a mass. We should be a part of the class, which is going to help us in this particular way of putting the thing. So this is all, Dr. Ajit sir, from my side. I'm ready for question and answers, right? Because apart from all the eminent guests who have joined here, and Professor Ishaq sir, his words of wisdom also, I'm ready to listen. Thank you so much, sir.
So over to Ishaq sir now.
Yes, thank you very much, Dr. Ajit Singh ji, Dr. P.K. Rajput ji, Dr. Mahinder Singh Rathod ji, and I can see some prominent faces, Dr. Rakesh Somani from D.Y. Patil Institute, and many other senior distinguished academicians, industrialists, and researchers in the group. A very good morning to all of you. Yes, it's a very matter of great honor and pleasure to be speaking at this platform on a very important, essential scheme, that is the Professor of Practice, which has been notified by the University Grants Commission of India. And as they say, practice makes a man perfect. That is the whole idea behind this scheme. Because even Mahatma Gandhi said that an ounce of practice is worth more than tons of preaching. So now the focus is on practicing rather than preaching alone. Because knowledge could be of no value unless it is put to practice. We have been transmitting knowledge since ages in our academic institutions, in our classrooms. But now the focus, the emphasis is on practice, in practicing, in developing the right kind of skill sets, right kind of mindsets, in honing the right kind of skills, competencies among our people, among our students. And practice here means to perform over and over again in the face of all obstacles, hurdles, and it also means some act of vision, faith, and desire. Practice is a means of inviting the perfect desired goal which one wants to achieve in life. So only yesterday I heard in the news that Justice J.R. Midha, former Delhi High Court judge, has been appointed as professor of practice in the National Law University, Delhi. Now, who could be the better person than a retired judge or a retired chief justice of a high court to practice law and to teach law and tell the students what are the real case studies, what are the real problems, what are the real kinds of issues and challenges confronted in this field. Similarly, I heard a few months ago that a former first citizen of US, Hillary Clinton, has been appointed as professor of practice in the Columbia University. So, for example, let us take a case. Somebody has been publishing a prominent newspaper throughout his life. He has been the chief editor. Who could be a better person to teach journalism to students than that person who has faced the different kinds of challenges, different kinds of issues and concerns in publishing a newspaper? Similarly, we can have a musician of repute who has spent his whole life practicing music, or a chef of a five-star hotel who has spent years or decades in cooking best of dishes for the people, and he could be the best resource person for a hotel management institute. So that is the whole idea behind this whole scheme, to rope in prominent, renowned experts who have spent considerable period of their time at a very senior position, even if they don't have a PhD, even if they don't have a PG, and engage them in real classroom situations. The idea is to transmit skills into the bring the skills to the real classroom situations, because it has been observed as per the India Skills Report of 2022 that there is a widening skill gap in Indian higher education. So two main reasons for bringing this particular scheme to my understanding. One is that there is a widening skill gap in the Indian higher education. And then there is secondly another gap, which is the supply demand gap in talent. See, I have been heading this Center for Career Planning and Counseling over the past 2 years, wherein we have been conducting various recruitment drives, placement drives for students belonging to all the departments of our university, as well as our satellite campuses. And here we have observed that there is deficiency of skills. There is a gap in the skills which are needed by the job market. So in order to address that gap, what is needed we are producing graduates who are not meeting up to the expectations and challenges of the job markets. So there is a huge skill gap. Among the 8 million graduates that we produce every year, only 50,000 are equipped with future skills, 21st century skills. As per this very India Skills Report of 2023, which has been brought out this year alone, the overall employability of Indian graduates has increased from 40% in 2017 to 50% in 2023, whereas the employability of pharmacy graduates has increased from 42.3% in 2017 to 57.51% in 2023. But still, there are a lot of challenges, there are a lot of gaps. As per the NASSCOM survey of 2019, India produces 15 lakh engineering graduates every year. However, only 2.5 lakh of them are able to get jobs. So it's a very small figure, a small percentage of only 16% who are able to get jobs in the industry. As per Aspiring Minds, it has been found that 80% of Indian engineers were unemployed in the year 2019. So that is the whole idea, that in order to bridge this gap in skill, bridge this gap in supply demand, what is needed in the job market and what we are giving to our graduates, this scheme has been brought in, which was very well elaborated by Dr. Ajit Singh ji. All the pros and cons, all the modalities have been explained very well. In fact, we have been late in India in bringing out this scheme. If we look at Massachusetts Institute of Technology of US, it brought this scheme way back in 1997. And other top universities of the world like Harvard, Yale, Princeton, Columbia, they have already been practicing this scheme for years together, for decades together. And they also bring teachers into this scheme. But the government has taken a very right decision not to bring teachers at the starting level, at the initial level into this scheme, because then it will go into that direction only. People will engage the teachers only. But the idea here is to engage professionals from the industry, like Dr. Pramod Kumarji, who are really well versed with the techniques, with the practical knowledge, with the skill sets, with the right kind of competencies. And then who could transmit and transfer those competencies, those skills to the students, give them the hands-on sessions, give them the practical sessions, and expose them to the real life situations. That is the whole idea. And in pharmacy in particular, we already have certain areas which are practice areas. For example, the pharmacy practice, which includes the hospital and administrative pharmacy, clinical pharmacy practice, social and community pharmacy. So it will not be that difficult to practice it, to bring practitioners and let them teach our students. Similarly, in case of pharmaceutical technology or industrial pharmacy, we have areas like pharmaceutical production, quality assurance, research, drug design and development, marketing management, where people from industry can come and teach our students how exactly we can excel, how exactly we can deliver in all these areas, what are the problems being faced practically on ground in the industry in these areas. Then in our curriculum of pharmacy, we already have herbal drug technology. So we need to look out for people who have been cultivating these medicinal plants themselves, who are into phytochemicals, who are into nutraceuticals. That if I talk about another field, which is also coincidentally my area of expertise, that is the pharmacovigilance. So in pharmacovigilance, we teach them the theory, but now it is the time to switch over to practice. For example, in the industry, the experts are well versed with what are the various types of reports that need to be filed to the European Medicines Agency, to the US FDA, to the FDA of the Government of India, periodic safety. So we don't teach all those things. We teach only the theoretical parts which are there in the curriculum. But now it is time to switch over to the real life situations, how exactly they have to transact business in an industry when it comes to pharmacovigilance or when it comes to drug regulatory affairs. Similarly, there are many other areas in our pharmaceutical sciences like the bulk drug manufacturing, pharmaceutical engineering, pharmaceutical biotechnology, where we can teach them the biosimilars, bringing experts from the field, from the industry. We have the pharmaceutical microbiology. Nowadays, there is a lot of buzz about the antibiotic resistance, and people are trying to go back to the evolution and see where the answer to this antibiotic resistance lies. So the people from pharmaceutical microbiology background who have been working actually with the microbes and in the laboratories can come and teach our students how exactly to tackle this menace. Then there are areas like pharmacogenomics, pharmacogenetics, pharmacoepidemiology, public health services, pharmacoeconomics. I can go on and on, where we need people from the field, where we need people who have dealt with such situations in the real life, and who can transmit that practical knowledge to our students. So that way, this scheme will be highly beneficial to our students. So idea is to make our students skill enhanced, skill empowered, who can really deliver on the ground, and industry will be ready to embrace them once they complete their graduation or post graduation. They don't have to look out for jobs. Industry should come and looking out for such students, and more and more people can themselves go into entrepreneurship. And this scheme will ultimately, give the bump to, it will enhance the skill development, in innovation, incubation development, entrepreneurship development in our educational institutions, and make our learners, make our students industry ready. They can become self-employed. They can come out, now there is a lot of discussions going on about startups. So this will also boost the startups. Already India is becoming a leader in startups. And our youth, they comprise the second largest workforce in the whole world, next only to China. So that is the basic crux which I have understood behind this scheme. And I'm sure this is going to give a big boost to the pharmaceutical industry. Already India is known as the pharmacy of the world. And now with this scheme coming up, we will become leaders in the skill enhancement, leaders in the skill developed youth supply to the whole world. So this skill gap will be addressed, as well as the supply demand gap will be addressed. That is the whole motive behind this scheme. Thank you very much.
Sir,
Yes.
what you said, Professor, another point which I like to add, because the growth of getting the job will be hardly 10% more, right? And the people who are coming out from the college, it will be keep on increasing. So now with this way, we can change them from a job seeker to a job provider, which is very, very important. And once we start putting the things in their mind, that what you said about the startup part, which government of India is giving lot of strength for this, then the people will have they can start their own business with the 3 people, 5 people, 7 people, single people like that. Sir, in Ahmedabad, there are 2 IIM graduates are there. They have that IIM Chai Wala and IIM Dosa Wala. They have passed out that and they're doing a multiple way, and they have the outlets in different places. So it is not that, it is nothing a shame on the job, right? If you are able to put the things on the 2 people, 3 people, it is going to make a difference. Sir, I was in Sikkim, let me tell you, last month, and I met one girl there at near to the China border, right? She did her MBA from ICFA, there only from Sikkim. She had employed 4 people and she was having her own lorry, and she was serving the tea, coffee, Maggie and all to everybody. When I asked why you are doing it, you are a learned. Said, no, I'm able to provide the job for the 4 people also who are working. I'm taking care for their family. And I'm going to think that after 5 years, I'll have my 3 restaurants. So this is the way the thinking is going to be developed, and which is not there. When I go to the colleges, small colleges, people they like to get the job. Hey, you should provide the job also. That is the complete mind change has to be there. Maybe one person, maybe open a tea stall today, maybe open a something like that, and it is a job provider. So the mind can be changed. And today, sir, as per the Indian government scenario, let me tell you, because I am a part of Indian Society Training Skill and Development Group of India. They say that every month, 1 million of the students, they are having the age of more than 18 years. So now we can see that how we are growing. And out of that 1 million, at least 30% they will be going for the higher education. So in that way, the growth is happening. So that is very important, that the collaboration of industry and academia with the proper way putting the things and providing the things, either management, either pharmaceutical, either engineering, either technology, it is going to really change the entire scenario. And what you said about it in Harvard, they are having, and other places they are having, it is there because Dr. Ajit knows that I am also a part of Leadership Excellence of Harvard. There they keep on talking about it, that this is the way they are building the people for the future.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. So, yes, definitely, it's a great scheme. I, think they have come up with something really good, and it is not very new. It is new to India, but not new to the world, as Ishaq sir has told. It has been introduced long back, in US universities and all. So now, open for the questions. If anything you want to discuss, you want to put on the points, you want to put some suggestions, if you have any other facts, or if you want to ask the questions to us or our eminent people, please go ahead, everyone. Yes, sir. Yes, Rakesh sir. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you so much, Rajput sir, Ishaq sir. Thank you, and Ajit Singh sir. It was really wonderful to listen to the stalwarts, on this platform in this morning. And very nicely you put up the entire POP proposal of the UGC. And thank you, Dr. Rathod, as well. So quickly a question, probably to Ishaq sir, and then followed to Rajput sir also, because both of them are from the pharma background per se. Okay, so as rightly said by Ishaq sir, that pharmacy practice is there in the Pharmacy Council of India's faculty requirement also, and they expect us to hire. It is in this question is in terms of a administrator point of view. They expect us to hire the pharmacy practice professor or associate professor. Now, my question is, there is a big gap in the understanding whether pharmacy is industry oriented or it is a clinical oriented. And so in that case, do we have to have a professor of practice in industry oriented setup as well as practice oriented setup, clinical oriented setup? That's a question. And I think many of the academicians would have this question. Sir, over to you, sir.
Right. Thank you very much, Dr. Rakesh Somani ji, for that very important question. Yes, there is no harm in having, definitely there has been a discourse going on in the country that whether what kind of orientation should be given to the pharmacy. And when the Pharmacy Council of India is presently in the process of the syncing and aligning our curriculum with that of the National Education Policy 2020. Because National Education Policy puts focus on multidisciplinary learning, multidisciplinary teaching, and in that we need to frame and redesign our curriculum, which has been framed earlier in education regulations, and make it multidisciplinary. And there we have, many people have proposed that in the final year of B.Pharm, either there should be industry orientation to some set of students, and to another set of students, they can be allowed to go for clinical orientation to the hospitals. So the choice should be open for the student, the option should be open, whether to go for the industry or whether to go for the hospital setup in their final year of the B.Pharm itself, so that they can have one full year internship. Again, there is discussion that in medicine, we have 1 year internship. In engineering, we have a long internship. In law, we have but in pharmacy, we have an industrial training of only 2 or 3 months. So the internship has also to be of at least 1 year, as we have in Pharm D courses. So once that is done, once the curriculum is revised by the Pharmacy Council of India, it is aligned to the National Education Policy, it is made multidisciplinary, and there is a fixed term allotted to either clinical or industrial side. So we can have professors of practice from both the areas. So 10% of the total sanctioned strength has been allowed by the UGC. For example, as rightly mentioned by Dr. Ajit Singh ji, if you have 20 professors as your strength, so you can engage 2 people. So you can, one can be from industry, one can be from the clinical side. So you can engage both. And if you are a university, obviously the strength will be much higher. Our strength is 400 staff members. So we can engage 40 people from these professors of practice belonging to various departments and various streams. So you can take one person or more from the industry, or one or more, depending upon the courses that you offer, the orientation that you have, and the orientation which you want to take your institute forward. So in future, I think, see, right now it is restricted to only the people from the industry. And as the scheme is practiced and implemented on ground, as it moves forward, more and more people will be, more percentage will be allowed. And definitely even the people from the teaching background may be allowed in due course of time, because already abroad teachers are allowed. But that is not advisable at the initial stage here in our country, because first we want to focus on the industry-based personnel, industry-based experts, or the hospital-based experts who can come to our institutions and deliver at our classrooms. I hope I answered the question.
Absolutely.
Yeah, certainly, sir. Of course, I mean, your answer has given again a lot of questions, but let us keep it open for other people also to ask. Any comment from Rajput, sir? Dr. Rajput, please.
Sir, thank you, sir, once again for giving me this wonderful opportunity, Rakesh sir, and thank you, Professor Ishaq sir. I would like to add one more thing, because why we talk about the industry, when the student from the B Pharma comes, he has the multiple choice, sir. When I talk about the multiple choice, he can be a part of hospital pharmacy or clinical pharmacy. Point number 1. He can be also a part of production, sir, because today they are not going toward the production side. He can be a part of supply chain management, because pharmaceutical industry is very big and you have to learn what are the things are there. Because today, what is happening, that how a medicine should reach to the last man, to the society, is very important, right? That is the way the supply chain is going to help, sir. Then, sir, pharmaceutical marketing, because unless until we will not sell, the revenue will not come, how the things will happen, right? Because everything is based on the revenue. So the B Pharma student, they are now getting more inclined towards doing the MBA, and then they want to become a pharmaceutical marketing person, which is there. And today, sir, when we see in any good companies or the mediocre companies, they take the B Pharma with MBA, because they have the knowledge of the entire pharmaceutical thing, and at the same time they know what is the marketing. So blend of the things are very, very important, right, Dr. Ji? Then, yes, sir, coming to the other part, when it's from the academia part, pharmacovigilance, what just now sir has said about it. So again, industry expert is required. What are the nitty-gritties are required to ensure and fulfill the pharmacovigilance, which is very important, because government is becoming very strict. Today, the NDAs are getting filed, but why is it getting rejected? What are the things are there which is important? Research, which we talk about it, sir, again, industry expert are required. Today, we are talking about the genome therapy, the monoclonal bodies therapy, antibodies therapy. So a lot of the new things are coming up, sir. Then pharmaceutical data management, sir, and analytics. Today, when AI is becoming more strong, right? So we have to have the person who understands the data. Data are available in plenty, but how to churn the data, to get the things data, in that way it is going to make a lot of difference. So that is the reason, sir, the people from the different domain in the same pharmaceutical industry will be able to give a right help to the right students who really want to make their particular future in that particular area. And last but not the least, entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship can start while starting any of the thing from the hospital product to the syrups to tablets manufacturing or whatever the things are there. And you know, sir, during the time of the COVID, how many people they have started using the sanitizer, they started producing sanitizers, gloves and all. So lot many things can happen, sir. The domain is really open. And as per our respected Prime Minister, he wants that by 2025 and 2020, when we are having the surrounding call, India should be the leading and we are going to cross China in terms of the pharmaceutical part, which is very, very important. So that is the strength which is there. So today, yesterday I was reading the paper. The pharmaceutical industry is growing by 12%. And in Gujarat, all the manufacturers have doubled the sale. This is the way the things are happening, sir. This is mentioned in the Times of India. So this is the beauty of the industry, which is growing by leaps and bounds, and people, they are depending. Now they are not going towards the China for the thing, and we are able to provide the thing. So, sir, what Professor Ishaq sir has said, I echo on his point 100% that is the requirement of the industry, but in the different domain of different parts, sir.
I would like to add from my side as well, sir, Rakesh sir. So I think the best part what UGC in the POP has suggested is the minimum period of 1 year. So you can hire as many as POPs in next 5 years for the students, or in the 4 years, at least 8 with 8 different domains. And you can fulfill the demands and the expertise in the institution. So it is very easy to get the expertise for 1 year. Don't hire them for 3 years or 2 years or 4 years. Just hire them for 1 year. Just appoint them for 1 year, and what we say that get the expertise and then get the new POP. So by that we can get from the different domains and different extremes and different orientations people we can get.
That's
and Ajit sir, then when you are hiring for 1 year, then the guy who is coming from the industry expert, he will also be able to transfer the things to the college professors. So in that way, you can have multiple channels on that, and you can have entire plethora in front of you. That is one of the very important things.
Yeah, just want to say here that Pharmacy Council of India has to now take up this as one of the initiatives for the pharmacy colleges. Maybe as a mandatory. So as a university, now I belong to a university where this kind of setup, we can easily do it. Already we have the adjunct professor or similar kind of people, what we don't call them as POP as of now, but then certainly they can be, hired as a POP. But if it comes through the regulatory body and percolate down the line, I think that would that will impact more into the pharmacy education. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Yes.
Yeah, Dr. Ajit, I want to ask one question to experts.
Yes, ma'am. Namaste.
Namaste, sir. Namaste to all experts also. It's really a good session and awareness session, sir. I enjoyed it really from both the experts and initial talk given by Dr. Ajit. So my question is, I have registered in a HCI login. My institute I have registered under HCI login of POP. And now I can see the experts list, and I found 13 experts of my domain, like the pertaining to pharmacy field. So I did not get clear idea about how to connect with the experts, and I need some suggestions from the experts. How can I think, like what could be my thought process as a principal of this institution to reach the experts, or UGC is going to approach, or when I have seen the details of the experts also. So they have given like, are they going to choose the registered HCIs, or what could be the procedure?
I think PK sir is most appropriate person because he has registered as an expert and he got that. So Rajput sir, over to you.
Thank you, Professor Kirnaim, ma'am. Very, very good morning to you. Good afternoon to you now. And it's a very good question. It depends upon, say, that two things are there. Like if you are knowing the people who are from the industry, you can directly approach them. Point number one, right? The second thing is, if you got 13 of the experts in their domain, then you have to scrutinize as per your requirement, right? Then you can have one-to-one talk with them, and you can understand what is their strength or the person is here. seeing your strength, matching the strength of your institute, then or whatever the requirement of the institute, then you can marry that expert as a POP for that for the institute. That's what I personally feel. Second point I like to add it here. It doesn't mean couple of the institutes are not registered in that, right? But there are the institutes who really want to take it because they know that yes, you are expert. So if somebody you know better and from not registered there, you can take him also or take her also and tell him or her to register in that UC. Yeah, ma'am. So
And
now
Yes.
all the sir,
Yes.
yes, sir.
Yes, I would
Professor,
like to
sir.
add, very
Yeah.
rightly said, sir. And I would like to add that UGC has also specified a particular procedure for nomination of these experts for universities. They have specified that the university can have a committee. If you are a vice chancellor or a principal of your college, you can appoint a committee of 2 professors, 2 senior professors from your university or your college, and you can have a 3rd professor from outside the institution, from some another institution or university outside your college. And then this committee can nominate, invite nominations. You can float an advertisement, or you can invite nominations from selected persons from HEI portal of the UGC. You can invite nominations, and then this committee will scrutinize them and see whether they have the right kind of skill sets, expertise, experience, the level, seniority level, and everything else. They will devise a criteria, and as per that criteria, they will make the selection. Once the selection is done, that will be put through the academic council, through the executive committee, as mentioned by Dr. Ajit Singh ji in his presentation. And it has to be cleared by the statutory bodies of your higher education institution, and that will streamline the whole process. The emoluments will be fixed mutually in consultation with the expert. And once, I just yesterday I heard that in Maharashtra, some 5 universities have been given permission to appoint professors of practice. This Rajiv Gandhi Technological University of Hyderabad has gone for it. And there are many universities who have initiated the process. And some universities have fixed the emoluments as the basic of a professor plus DA. If that is, affordable to your college, for universities, it is the basic pay of the professor plus the DA. But it can vary from college to college depending upon their resources and their availability of the resources, etc. So that is the procedure which you can follow. Have a committee of experts who will invite nominations, scrutinize them, devise criteria, and then put it through your regulatory bodies. Once that is done, then you will be good to go with the professor of practice.
Yes, sir. I understood, sir. Second point, sir rightly mentioned is, suppose if I have one expert, I found one expert in IICT or CCMB, because I'm talking from Hyderabad. So can I join as expert, and then can I ask him to register into so that way also I can proceed, right, sir? Like he is emeritus scientist in IICT.
Right. Yeah, you can also, if you want any particular person, you can write to the head of that institution, as rightly mentioned by Dr. Rajput ji, or you can directly write to that particular expert, and you can invite nominations, or the experts can nominate themselves. Everything is possible over here. But you can put it through the same selection committee, screening committee. If you have already some person in mind who is of eminence, renowned in that field, having vast experience, you can definitely directly approach him, invite his nomination, and then you can complete the formalities at your level and appoint him.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, one more small clarity I need is, the expert should be relevant to the pharma or allied fields, or any other person also we can invite, so that as guidelines are telling, so 10% of sanction posts. So as an administrator, I should balance that part also. So can you please give me that clarity, sir?
Yes, you have to identify the needs of, if you are the head of the institution, you have to identify the needs of the whole institution. So
Yes,
after identifying, you have to prioritize. Once you identify which all departments need a professor of practice, then you have to prioritize. Okay, this department needs it first, that department can wait. So accordingly, you have to identify the needs, you have to prioritize it, you have to fix the timeline, and then accordingly, you have to take everybody on board, get the consensus of your members, and then you can accordingly make the appointments.
So PCI need to approve the appointment of this POP as a part of our.
No. PCI has nothing to take in this part now.
Okay.
Right now, nothing.
Okay.
And what I felt is, sir,
they allow 10% POPs as a part of this thing, then it will be benefited for the higher educational institutions, right? I feel strongly. Just platform is there. I'm feeling free to express my view. So we can represent that to PCI.
Definitely. And I feel right now, Ishaq sir and Rajput sir, if they agree, what I feel is right now this portal is just a networking portal.
Correct.
They will not do any kind of selection procedure. Selection procedure is 100% in the hand of institution and the universities.
Correct.
Yes.
Yes.
This is just
100% right.
But
Yeah.
as per my experience, sir, I felt very strongly that allied sciences involvement is very much required to upgrade our pharmacy profession. So because we are missing that part, as they are restricting only to, so only visiting faculty, only few hours they can teach. If POPs are as a part of our list of faculty means, they can avail all these things, and also we can get more opportunity to use them for the teaching, learning, and other practices also, no, sir. It will be always helpful for us.
Ma'am, it is minimum 10 hours in a
Hours per
month.
month.
You
Yes.
can increase to 20 hours, 40 hours. It depends upon
100
the
hours, 10 to
POP.
100 hours in a
10
month.
to 100 hours, that's what it is there. So now it depends upon the requirement of the institute and the person who is going to be a POP of that. And then whatever the remuneration which has been fixed between you and the POP. So all the three things are going to matter together.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. I'm
yes,
so happy to hear all
Sir,
the.
please go ahead.
Professor Mahendra, sir. Yeah.
Yeah, sir, I'm having a question that still now PCI has not made the stand clear about this POP appointment. And once the professor of practice has been appointed, how the PCI will take into, and whether this professorship would be counted into the regulatory requirement or not. So these things are still not clear, so that before having the stand from PCI, because many of institutions are the private institutions, so it would be appointing the professor would be costing them, and sometimes the people are very. It is very difficult for the institute to find out the professor for a particular stream, so that professor of practice concept can be collaborated or aligned with this thing. It would be more practical way to implement this practice, particularly from the pharmaceutical institution I'm talking about. So I would like to know the view of the eminent people, Ishaq sir and Rajput sir, and Somani ji is there. So if any input can be provided by you, sir, on this, any update?
Yeah, I think the appointment of professors of practice is over and above the sanctioned strength of any institution.
Yes.
So Pharmacy Council of India is concerned with the sanctioned strength, the permanent staff. So they are not much concerned with ad hoc staff or contractual or ad hoc or guest faculty or adjunct faculty. Now, this is, as rightly mentioned by Dr. Somani sir, it is another name for the adjunct faculty with little more empowerment and more versatility. But the PCI, when they come for inspections, they look for the full-time staff. So this is not a full-time staff, regular staff appointment. But definitely PCI should come up with some form of endorsement or some form of guidelines which would substantiate it, complement it, supplement it, and that will make the scheme more powerful. And because, as rightly mentioned by Dr. Somani sir also, that they need to make it official, and then it will be easier for the institutions and colleges to implement it, because when they have a word from the regulatory body, and that will be an added encouragement, added motivation to them. Definitely that they might have discussed it numbers. They might have thought about it, and they might have chalked out a way forward how to go about it, and they might be already on the job, and we can only hope that they will come up with some kind of guidance for the institutions, how to implement it and when to implement it in future. Of course, there is no binding on implementation. The institutions can straight away start implementing it because UGC has notified it, and there is no limitation or restriction from PCI side. But of course, if there is some kind of added guideline, that will be an added encouragement for the institutions.
Yeah, sir, I would like to have that, since you are having representation in the various platforms offered by PCI, and that you are having regular conversations, being a senior academicians. So just one thing I would like to add here, that according to the UGC and NAC, this definition of the full-time professors, part-time professor, and definition of the permanent and temporary professors or faculty members. So the NEC is saying that the professor who is taking the 90% of the teaching load of the prescribed one, say for example, in a week, 8 hours is there. So if the person is taking the 6 or 7 hours a week, so that it can be considered as the full-time professor. So that this thing, if it would be in alignment with the requirement, because this is the practical problem that I'm talking about, where many institutions are going through that. So this thing can be proposed, and then in the favor of the faculty members, or rather it would be a headache of the principal that to appoint the professor, that we were not able to find out them, and in having the alignment with the management and all other various aspects are there. So just to have a request to you that whenever the things are there, please take this thing also into consideration, so that how this thing can be done and aligned.
I think we need more sessions and updated sessions every 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or every month. We need more updated sessions.
In fact, Dr. Singh, I would suggest that, because, PCI has to be into this entire discussion. So if we can invite some EC member, executive committee, council member of the PCI, that would be directly, passing the information. So that they come to know. Yeah.
In next meeting, definitely, sir. In next meeting.
Anyhow, that Dr. Ajit, this we have done this exercise, and we can make some minutes of this discussion, and then we can communicate at least to the PCI that this is the discussion held with the senior professors, and then all these things, and these are our viewpoint. And from the academic perspective, from the industry perspective, from the research institution perspective, so that I think majority of us are from the pharmaceutical background, that I can see in the principals or directors or senior professors of the profession. Then so that we can at least we can communicate, and we can make this session fruitful and useful.
Wonderful suggestion. So I would invite a few more people to talk on that with the questions and suggestions. Then I think that would be, that can be definitely conveyed to PCI. So anyone from audience want to put the views or suggestions or any kind of questions, doubts?
Hello, sir. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, madam.
I'm Professor Anita, sir, working in St. Joseph Degree and PG College, Hyderabad, in the management department. I have an thing to clarify. Like one of our faculty who is working in mass communication department, he has over 20 years plus experience in industry, and he's working in our college since 4 years. Now he want to apply as professor of practice. Can we give him that particular status of professor of practice through the selection committee and everything? Is it possible, sir?
Over to Ishaq sir and Rajput sir.
Actually, as has been very well clarified earlier, that this the professor of practice position is not open for teaching faculty, and it is right now open only for the industry experts who are exclusively in the field and who are practically working on the ground. And if this particular faculty member that you have mentioned, if he has been in the industry over the last 20 years, and if he has left teaching 20 years back, but then over the past 20 years, he has been on a senior position, because I cannot say like this, that whether he's eligible or not, unless we get to know about the credentials. So you are the best judge, you alone can decide that. And there's a clear specification that the person has to be on a senior level, at senior administrative position in the industry. And then only he will be eligible, and he should have a vast experience of minimum 15 years. So if he has the requisite experience, the requisite the qualification is not a problem. The requisite level of seniority he has, and he has been working in the industry over the last 20 years, as you mentioned, then I don't think it should be a problem. Again, the committee which you frame at the institutional level, that will decide whether the person is eligible or not.
But sir, I have a question here. If the person is working already in the institution in different department as a full-time professor, wouldn't it be a problem?
Yes, they are not allowed at this moment, unless UGC comes up with a new set of regulations. At this moment, they are not allowed.
Yes.
That's what it has been said.
Thank you, Professor, so much for clarifying.
Any teachers or any professor, any faculty member who are related with the institution, they are not allowed. Maybe it is not their stream, in some other stream as well.
Not even retired teachers. Teachers who have retired from the education, even they are not allowed.
They are not allowed. Yes. At least now, though, they are not allowed.
And it is just 15 days that started because UGC
Yes.
started recognizing. So there will be changes is going to happen. Lot many
Yes.
good things are going to be added.
Yes.
Because now in HEI, just 65 people they have added,
Yes.
So, and 2000 some change in the general. So it is going to be added. More people will be there, more inclination, more questions will be there in the
More
mind, how to take
clarifications.
what, more
Yes.
clarification. So gradually the things are going to be more clear about it, right?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Anyone else? Okay. So I think time to wind up. Thank you. So thank you very much, all the eminent people who have joined, Professor Gierem Isak sir, Professor Rajput sir, Professor Rakesh, and I can see many names here, Professor Manjunath, Professor Kiranmai, Professor Ogandar is also here, and our own Professor Rathod sir. Thank you very much for joining. I think we are the first to, do this kind of things in professor of practice, and definitely we'll be coming soon, maybe, within a couple of weeks again, with more updates and with more people from the BCI, and as sir has suggested, and other affiliations, so they can get they can come with the more clarifications. So thank you very much, everyone, and have a good day. Thank you for joining.
Thank you very much, everybody. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Shukriya, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so
Take
much.
care.